You think your past is behind you, fixed, untouchable, real, but what if it isn't? What if the version of yesterday you're holding on to doesn't exist in any absolute sense? You remember moments, you replay conversations, you feel regret like it's tied to something solid, something permanent. You assume time moves forward like a straight line, carrying you away from everything that has already happened. That assumption feels obvious, it feels undeniable, but it's wrong. According to Albert Einstein, the difference between past, present, and future is not a fundamental feature of reality. It's not built into the universe the way you think it is. It's something your mind constructs to make sense of a far more complicated structure. In physics, time is not a river flowing forward. It's part of something called spacetime, a four-dimensional framework where every event, everything that has ever happened or will ever happen, exists as a point in that structure. That means your past hasn't vanished. It still exists, not as a memory, not as an idea, but as an actual location in the fabric of reality. Right now, somewhere in that structure, your childhood is still there, every second of it, every detail, frozen, complete, untouched, and at the same time, moments you call the future are also there, already embedded, already real. Nothing is being erased, nothing is being created in the way you imagine. So why does it feel like the past is gone? Because you can't go back to it. You are not freely moving through time. You are locked into a specific path, experiencing one moment after another in a strict order. Your awareness moves. The universe does not rearrange itself for you. This is where things start to break. If the past still exists but you can never access it again, what exactly are you remembering? You're not reaching back into reality. You're generating a reconstruction inside your mind, a fragile one. Your brain stores fragments, not full experiences. It fills in gaps. It edits details. It reshapes events based on emotion, bias, and time. Every time you recall something, you slightly change it, so the thing you call your past is not the actual past sitting in space-time. It's a story, a version, a mental echo of something real that you can no longer touch, that should make you uncomfortable, because you build your identity on that story. You define yourself by things you believe happened. You carry guilt, pride, shame, nostalgia, all based on memories that are not direct access to reality. You trust them anyway, you let them control your decisions. But physics doesn't support that trust. The universe is not preserving your experiences for you to revisit. It's not organized around your perspective. It doesn't guarantee that what you remember is accurate or meaningful in any absolute sense. It simply contains everything, all at once, whether you can reach it or not, and you're stuck in a narrow slice of it, moving forward, unable to turn around, holding on to shadows of something that may be very different from what you think. So ask yourself something that cuts deeper than comfort. If the real past still exists but is forever out of your reach, and the version in your mind is only a reconstruction, then what exactly is the thing you keep calling your past? Forget everything you think you know about time. There is no universal now. No shared moment that the entire universe agrees on. No master clock ticking somewhere in the background, keeping everything in sync. That idea feels natural. It feels necessary. It's also false in the framework built by Albert Einstein. The universe is not unfolding moment by moment. It is already laid out as a complete structure called space-time, not a process, not a sequence, a whole. Imagine reality not as a movie playing, but as a film reel that already exists from beginning to end. Every frame is there, every scene is fixed. The beginning, the middle, the end, all equally real. You are not watching the movie. You are inside one frame, moving through them in a way that feels like motion, but isn't changing the reel itself. This is what physicists call the block universe, and it destroys the way you think about existence, because in a block universe nothing is becoming, nothing is happening in the way you feel it. Every event, every choice you've made, every mistake you regret, every moment you haven't lived yet, is already part of the structure. Your birth is there. This moment is there. Your death is there, not waiting to occur, already existing. Let that sink in. Harsh truth number one, your life is not unfolding freely. It is a path embedded in the geometry of space-time. You feel like you're making choices right now. You feel uncertainty. You feel possibility. But from a higher perspective, one not limited to your human experience, those choices are not open. They are fixed points you are approaching. You are not writing your story. You are moving along it, and you cannot step off the path. That doesn't mean your experience is fake. It means your experience is limited. You perceive time as flowing because your consciousness is restricted to one slice of the block at a time. Like a flashlight moving across a painting, you illuminate one part after another, creating the illusion that something new is appearing. But the painting was always complete. This should unsettle you, because it challenges the core of what you believe about control, freedom, and meaning. If your future already exists, then what does it mean to plan, to hope, to fear? It means you are experiencing those emotions inside a structure that does not bend for you. You still feel choice, you still act, but those actions are part of the block, not something that changes it from the outside. And here's the deeper cut. You don't experience the whole of reality, you experience a narrow thread through it, a single path among countless others that exist in the same space-time structure. You never see the full picture, you never step outside your line, you never access the totality of what is. You are confined to your perspective, moving forward frame by frame, believing you are shaping something that, at a fundamental level, is already there. That's the illusion. Not that your life lacks meaning, but that you think meaning comes from controlling time. The universe does not operate on your sense of before and after. It simply contains everything, and you are inside it, not as an author, but as a traveler who can only move forward, never backward, never outside, never free from the path already carved into the fabric of reality. Now it gets even more uncomfortable, because it's not just that time doesn't flow the way you think, it's that time doesn't even agree with itself. You assume that now is something universal, that this exact moment is happening everywhere at once, that the present is a shared slice of reality cutting across the entire universe. It feels obvious, it feels undeniable, it's completely wrong. According to relativity, there is no single present moment that everyone agrees on, no universal now that separates the past from the future for all observers. What you call now depends entirely on how you are moving and where you are in the gravitational field. Two people in different states of motion can disagree about whether two events happened at the same time, and both of them would be right. This is not a trick. This is not perception. This is how reality actually works. Harsh truth number 2, your present moment is not real in any absolute sense. It is local, personal, limited. That means somewhere, from another valid perspective in the universe, events you think are in the future are already part of the present. And events you believe are long gone in the past might still be happening in someone else's frame of reference. Let that hit properly. There is no clean boundary between past, present, and future. There is no cosmic line dividing what exists from what doesn't. There are only relationships between observers, each carrying their own version of time. This idea is called the relativity of simultaneity, and it breaks your intuition completely. If two events happen far apart in space, you might say they occurred at the same time. But someone moving differently could say one happened before the other, and neither of you is wrong. That means your timeline, your neat ordering of events, is not a universal truth. It's just one way of slicing reality. Now push that further. If different observers slice spacetime differently, then what you call the future could already be part of someone else's now, not metaphorically, physically real. That includes moments you haven't experienced yet, moments you're afraid of, moments you're waiting for. They are not waiting, they exist. You just haven't reached them along your path. And here's the part that should disturb you the most. Your entire sense of reality is built on this illusion of a shared present. You make decisions assuming that the future is open and the past is closed. But physics does not draw that line. You do. Your brain constructs a moving now to help you survive, to help you function, to help you make sense of cause and effect. But that construction is not the structure of the universe. It's a simplified interface, a survival tool. You are not perceiving reality directly. You are experiencing a filtered version that hides how strange things really are, and because of that you feel stable, you feel grounded, you feel like time is solid. It isn't. There is no universal clock ticking behind everything, no master timeline holding the universe together, only countless perspectives, each with their own ordering of events, none of them privileged, none of them absolute. So when you say, "This is happening now," you're not describing reality, you're describing your position within it, a tiny shifting viewpoint in a structure far bigger than your mind can fully grasp. And once you see that, once you understand that your now is not the universe's now, you lose the illusion that time is something stable you can rely on. You realize it's something far stranger, and far less under your control than you ever imagined. You trust your memories. You think they are a direct line to what happened, a bridge connecting you to something real, something solid, something that once existed exactly as you recall it. They feel vivid, personal, certain, but they are not what you think. Your brain does not store the past like a recording. It doesn't archive moments the way a camera saves footage. It breaks experiences into fragments, images, emotions, sounds, meanings, and stores them across different neural networks. When you remember something, you are not retrieving it, you are rebuilding it, piece by piece, every single time. Harsh truth number 3. You never experience the past again. You only experience a reconstruction of it, and that reconstruction is unstable. It shifts based on your current mood, your beliefs, your expectations, even the questions you ask yourself. Each recall slightly edits the memory, reshaping it without you noticing. Details get added, others disappear, what felt certain becomes distorted, what never happened can feel real. So the version of your past that lives in your mind is not a fixed truth. It's a constantly evolving story. Now connect this to everything you've already seen. If the real past exists somewhere in spacetime, but you can't access it, and your mind only produces a changing reconstruction of it, then you are completely cut off from what actually happened. You are living with interpretations, not reality. That should shake you, because you build your identity on those interpretations. You say, "This is who I am because of what I've been through." You define your limits based on events you believe shaped you. You carry regret like it's tied to something unchangeable. You hold on to pride like it proves something permanent. But both are anchored in memories that are not reliable reflections of the real past. They are mental models, nothing more. And here's where it becomes dangerous. If your sense of self is built on unstable reconstructions, then your identity is not as solid as you think it is. It's flexible, fragile, open to distortion. You might be limiting yourself based on events that didn't happen the way you remember them. You might be holding on to pain that has been exaggerated by repetition. You might be defining your future based on a past you don't actually have access to. That's the trap. You think you are reacting to reality, but you are reacting to a story your brain keeps rewriting. And the more you revisit it, the more real it feels, not because it's accurate, but because it's familiar. Your mind prioritizes coherence over truth. It wants a consistent narrative even if that narrative drifts further from what actually occurred. So it smooths contradictions, it fills gaps, it protects the version of you that makes sense, and you accept it, without question. But physics doesn't care about your narrative. The real past, if it exists as part of spacetime, is fixed and inaccessible. Your memory of it is fluid and unreliable. There is no direct connection between the two. You are standing in the present, holding on to something that feels real but isn't fully trustworthy, using it to make decisions about a future you don't yet understand, and that should force a hard question. If your past is not something you can truly revisit, and your memories are not something you can fully trust, then why are you letting them define who you are? Now you're left with something you can't ignore. The past may exist, but not for you. You can't go back. You can't verify it. You can't relive it the way it truly was. And the version you carry in your mind is not a perfect copy. It's a reconstruction, a shifting narrative. Yet you keep treating it like law. You let it define your limits, your fears, your excuses. That's the real illusion, not time. You're giving authority to something you don't actually have access to. Step back and look at it clearly. The universe, as described by Albert Einstein, does not revolve around your memories. It does not preserve a meaningful timeline for your sake. It does not guarantee that your past holds objective power over your present. It simply contains everything. A vast structure where moments exist, whether you can reach them or not. And you are a moving point of awareness inside that structure. Nothing more, nothing less. Here's the shift that changes everything. Stop treating your past as a foundation. Start seeing it as a reference, uncertain, incomplete, and limited. Because the only place you actually exist, the only place you can act, the only place anything can change from your perspective, is here, this moment. Not because it's universally special, but because it's the only slice of reality you can touch. Ignore this, and the consequences are personal. You stay trapped, you keep replaying memories like they are facts. You let old interpretations control new decisions. You hesitate, doubt, and hold back, not because reality demands it, but because your story about the past tells you to. You become predictable, closed, stuck inside a loop of something that may not even be accurate. And the worst part? You'll defend it. You'll protect the very narrative that limits you because it feels familiar, because it feels like you. But it's not you, it's a version, a construction, and you are choosing to live inside it. Or you can break it, you can accept that the past, whether it physically exists or not, is not something you can use as absolute truth. You can stop asking it for permission, stop using it as proof of what you can or cannot do. You can face reality as it is, uncertain, strange, and brutally indifferent to your expectations. And in that, there is something powerful. Not control over the universe, but control over how you respond to it. That's the only leverage you have. Use it, or waste it, because the universe is not waiting for you to figure this out. Your timeline, your path through spacetime is already unfolding from your perspective, whether you understand it or not. So here's the final truth. The past doesn't need to hold you back. You're choosing to let it. And if you keep doing that, you're not respecting reality. You're hiding from it. So stop hiding, stop looking backward for answers that aren't there, and start facing forward, not because the future is open, but because this is the only moment you'll ever get to do anything about it.